Welcome to episode 24 of Tool Use, your weekly conversation about helpful AI tools that you can use today, brought to you by Anetic. I'm Mike Bird, talking to Ty Fierro, and this week we're actually doing one of the old school demo episodes. A lot of you have been asking for us to get back into demos, so we decided to make something for you. But before we get into that, Ty, how you doing this week?
I'm doing all right, man. Last week was a rough one. I was quite sick last week, so I was kind of devastated to miss out on the tool use episode, but you filled in brilliantly. But yeah, the sickness of last week, and then I'm also just like kind of on edge this week with all these launches. It's been one of the craziest weeks in AI I've ever seen with Stargate and Operator and DeepSeek R1. I mean, there's the crazy week this week in AI, so I'm just trying to stay afloat, trying to build cool things. I think we've got something great to show people today, and I'm excited to get back to our roots and showcase old demos.
And it's been nice having a little side project, taking a break from the main business to work on something fun on the side. So eager to show people. But before we get into that, I do think we should give a little announcement, a little update to people who've been following along on the journey.
I think it's a good idea.
So, not a product update today, but I do want to give people a little more direction on what we're doing with Anetic. So, our mission is to empower humanity to thrive in the AI age. We understand that the transition to an AI future is going to be difficult for some people, and we want to make sure that we're here to help. We want to make sure we democratize the abundance created by AI to everyone. So we know how people can benefit from these new systems, and we want them to be accessible for all. So even though I can't give an update on what we're actually building, I just want you to know that we don't want the large companies or a few small individuals to get the massive amount of benefit while everyone else is left behind. We want to make sure that the benefit is spread to everyone.
The mission of making this transition to an AI future as painless as possible is a tricky one. And when we set out to start a business, I mean, we're big disciples of YC and to solve actual business problems. And I think the biggest problem facing humanity right now, or one of the biggest, I mean, there's plenty of problems out there, don't need to get into all that, but one of the biggest problems, top three in my book, is the world is not ready for this AI transition. And just talking to, family members and friends and just your average people, they don't really realize what's coming. I mean, they've tried ChatGPT once or twice and they're like, it's kind of cool, but they don't know what agents are. They don't know that Operator just dropped that can control computer and can actually do things that on your computer that are, like people that are doing with their jobs. I mean, there is going to be growing pains here. There's going to be transition into this AI future. I and you, I know we both share this sentiment of general AI optimism. I think AI will do a lot for humanity. I think we can accelerate and solve a lot of the world's problems with AI, but there will be collateral damage along the way. And I think committing our business towards solving the biggest problem that humanity's facing right now is a noble way to go, and it's something that I've wanted to do my whole life. And I think that now is the right time. Now is the right time to build products and services to help people navigate this transition to the AI space. And I'm really excited to show you guys eventually what we've been building, but for right now we're purposely stealth about it.
And we're still going to be keeping tool use free, open, available. There'll always be the opportunity for people to come and learn what tools they can use today, and we'll try to showcase that. But we do want you to know that if you want help leveling up your business in this age of AI, to keep up, to not let the accelerating economy kind of fade you out, reach out to us. We want to help you win. Details down below, but we're all in this together.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's have conversations. I mean, the communication through all of this is going to be what gets us forward, and we really want to help as many people as we can, including you. So if you're listening right now and don't know how to apply AI to your own life or to your own business, let's talk. We'd love to help you out.
Well said. On that note, should we get into the tool that we can show people that they can use for themselves for free today?
Let's do it. I'm super stoked for it. What we've built is a meeting recorder. So it's basically a open source command line meeting recorder. And one of my biggest motivations for it was to not have to pay for meeting recording software. seems like almost all of us are paying for some sort of like Fireflies or Crisp or any of these other ones like Otter. But we wanted to just build our own. We were like, I mean, I feel like we could just build this. And one of the biggest motivations for me was to be able to control the prompts. And like, okay, so you have a transcript. What do you do with that transcript to provide actual business value? And I think that's what we've done. So we've made it completely custom, so where you can actually modify your own prompts. Transcriptions just work. You get the transcription, you can process it however it makes sense to you. And yeah, I think I'm spoiling it all in one go here, but that's kind of what we're building.
Yeah, no, it's great. And one other aspect to it that we wanted to make sure we incorporated to make an entirely robust tool for people was the fact that, as mentioned in previous episodes, Ty and I both, we use a lot of voice input. I would say 60 to 70% of my interaction with my computer is voice. So not only will it transcribe what I say so I can just talk to my computer again, but you can actually inject into an AI pipeline to have things processed a certain way. So if you want to optimize your speech input for a given application, or if you want to have things proof checked, so it's not just a stream of consciousness, but a more structured thing, you're able to do that with this. And we actually have a couple cool demos in store for some of the opportunities that you can do with it. But we made sure to build in such a way that it's fully extensible and customizable. So if you have a particular use case that you want to have your voice transformed into an application in a certain way, you're able to do it with just adding a new profile, extending an existing profile. And it's a pretty novel setup.
The profile thing is so cool. Mike built all of that. And the coolest part about profiles is that you can specify the prompt to be run with the transcript. You can pass in like a transcript variable, and then the whole transcript comes into the profile, and then you can do whatever you want with it. And then at the end, we have in the profile YAML, there's like a actions thing where there's actual actions, which are like just Python functions. It's nothing too complex. You can do anything that's just a Python function, and it just gets whatever came out of the AI from the last step. So you can, send it to a database, you can copy to the clipboard, there's other ones, I don't want to spoil all of them, but you can also chain them together and have lots of different Python functions run in one big long go. And I think that's the most exciting part, because boy, is there a lot you can build with that.
And to top it all off, fully local, fully private. It's on your computer. Bring your own key so you can just hook it up to whatever service you want if you do want to use an external service. But if you want to use a LUM on your computer, nothing leaves your computer. Nothing costs you anything. It's all right there for you. And it's all open source. You can check it out, audit the code, and extend it the way you want. MIT license, so go have fun.
And with DeepSeek R1 being an Olama now, you get dang near cloud quality model outputs right there in your own terminal. Nothing leaving your computer. You could do it all on airplane mode, so long as it's, I don't know, I guess meetings are online. But, it's all local. Nothing leaves your device. And you don't have to pay $19 a month for it. $29 a month. It's kind of crazy how much these little meeting recorders cost. And you just start it when your meeting starts, hit enter when you're done, and then boom, all of a sudden you have a custom AI workflow that just ran on the meeting that you ran. So anyway, super excited about it. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And the thing I would really like to highlight is I'd love for people to help out on this. And so if anyone's looking for projects to tinker on, there's lots to play with in here and lots to improve on. But what we have now actually works and works really well. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, let's dive into it. Let's introduce WhisperBox to everyone.
Let's do it. All right, so this is WhisperBox. It's a CLI app, so you can just run WhisperBox or WB. And when you run WB, you'll be greeted with this, and it's pretty straightforward. So you literally just hit enter to start recording, and boop, there it goes. Now it's recording, and it will just keep recording for as long as you keep it in this state. So I'll kind of just keep recording and just let it kind of go. And then once I'm done with the whole meeting, ideally, once the meeting's done, I hit enter. It's going to stop the recording. It's going to save all of the transcripts using Whisper. And I can actually show you where those end up. So we actually have in here, in our meetings, I guess I'll go to the latest one. And boom, there it is. So it actually got the transcript. And we have saves the recording as well. And now you can actually do things with it. But more interesting than this is actually running this with a profile. So you can do WhisperBox -- profile meeting summary. Hopefully I spelled that right. And now we can do this again, and I'll just record something. We'll just kind of talk about our new product, WhisperBox, and how this open source command line meeting recorder is going to change the world or whatever. And then hit done. It's going to save the transcription just like it did before. And now it's actually processing this transcript. It's using Ollama 3.2 locally, which is kind of interesting. And it saved it. And so what this actually did is it sent a post request, which is actually kind of interesting. So it took the transcript, in, and then it took the results of the AI summary and then sent it to my own custom post request endpoint. So you can imagine that being a database, you can imagine that being whatever, right? Like you could make that whatever. So meeting summary just happened and it sent it off to there. So anyway, kind of cool. That's one example of what it can do. I'll show you one other one that I really like. So something that me and Mike love is talking to AI, like physically speaking to AI. So I love to voice prompt, especially in Cursor. If you guys are building Cursor apps, like open Cursor Composer and then just talk to it. I think there's something about the human voice and also just like speaking your mind that typing doesn't capture. Maybe it's just me, but anyway, you can run something like WB -- profile monologue to prompt, and then we can hit that. And now I can hit enter. So now I can make a prompt for ChatGPT. So I can do something like, I don't know, I really need a interesting short story created. And I have this short story on how humans and AI create the best version of humanity together and how the future is controlled by humans and AI together. I don't know if I'd read that short story, but here we go. Monologue to prompt, boom, copy to clipboard. So what it just did is it just took my transcription of what I did. It ran a workflow on it, which I can actually show you in here. This profile of monologue to prompt. Oh, I have to open this and great. Let me open this with text edit. And so yeah, you can actually see it took the prompt, it took this long disorganized description, and then it created a prompt that I can just copy and paste directly into ChatGPT now. So boom, create a short engaging story that makes a harmonious collaboration between humans and artificial intelligence. Boom, love it. So it just made me a better prompt off of all that gibberish I just gave it, which I think is really cool. And the wording of monologue is really interesting because it's like, it is a monologue. I just kind of hit record and then I just kind of tell it all of my thoughts and everything that I'm thinking. And AI is great at unstructured data into a output deliverable. And there it goes, making some sort of short story about AI with O1 Pro. I'll have to wait like 6 minutes for that to stop thinking. But anyway, those are my two demos. Monologue, super interesting. Copying it right to the clipboard as an action, which is literally just a Python function, using everything locally. Everything here would work without Wi-Fi turned on. Really interesting. Don't have to trust some weird company with your data. So anyway, super interesting. I guess I'll pass it over to you, Mike, and I want to see what you've got for us too.
So what I'm really excited about for WhisperBox is the ability to take my monologues, my stream of consciousness, my brain dumps, and turn them into something a little more structured. So one profile I threw together, which I think people might like, is monologue to keynote. Because if you're just going on a little rant and you want to try to tidy it up, make it appropriate for a presentation, this can actually help you do that. So I want to talk about the importance of small businesses implementing AI tools in order to stay competitive in the ever-changing, ever-accelerating landscape. Send that through. And then what it's going to do is take the transcription, which is done with Whisper file, so all locally. I have it configured to use Ollama running on my machine, but like I said, you can actually point it to OpenAI or Anthropic or Grok. And then after you've done the transcription, not only will it generate the a recording of the voice input as well as a transcript, but you can actually see the output that was generated by Ollama. So here, The future of small business, embracing AI to thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a crucial aspect of small businesses, yada, yada, yada. But you can see that with my unstructured input, it's able to output something in a format that I want. And you can imagine this will apply to different things. If you say want to have a professional email, if you want a professional LinkedIn post, if you want a funny post, you're able to automatically have the input they give to a computer be manipulated before it's saved. Because remember, you should never trust the direct output of AI, but if you're going to change it to a certain style anyways, this will help reduce that and just give you an automatic pipeline. But there's one more I want to show you. So this is my speaking coach. So I am spending more and more time presenting on camera and talking to people, and I just want to make sure that what I'm doing is at the best of its ability. So by passing to speaker coach, I want to see how I can speak better. Like, I just want to be really good, you know? It's one of those things that I feel is very important. And then what it's going to do is take that speech and print it to the terminal with some actual techniques, pacing, clarity, tone. I used too many filler words, the ums and the ahs, totally unintentionally. But this way, you're actually able to get direct feedback. So instead of having to find another service to do this, you can get yourself in the zone before a presentation and get that last minute briefing to get up to speed on how you can best give a presentation. So these are just two examples. Ty touched on a couple others, but quickly pulling over, you can see we've created a lot of profiles, all of which can be modified. You can add your own. We also have scripts for options. So Ty used the post request. I sent the output to the terminal. You can create markdown file, copy to your clipboard. And really, these are just Python files. So if there's anything else you want to add to have the output of your process transcript done, it can be done in this pipeline.
Great stuff, man. It looks good. I mean, I think the coolest part about this is just like unstructured voice input to anything. Like, it's kind of like my anything to anything demo from a long time ago, but it's just like voice to anything. Because like voice comes in, AI can process it in however you want it to, and then take any action. So even if you're working on a team, like something that I might even try to figure out is like, could I create a shared GitHub repo with all of the meeting transcriptions that anyone on my team could go and visit? Like, you could have a single Python script function that runs as part of the profile that just commits that meeting transcription and its notes to GitHub or whatever it is, right? So you could do some pretty cool things there. Obviously, there's lots of other ideas we have for this, but this is, I would love for people to help us out and try to make some cool profiles and help us actually like improve the application a little bit. But it's pretty exciting, and there's a lot of possibilities here, and it may just replace some pretty key applications in my own workflow without naming any names. So I'm really excited about this one. And this was something that was just kind of like a build for yourself. And if it's like a problem for you, it's probably a problem for other people. I think this is a problem for other people. And I don't think everyone wants to pay $20 to have their data sent off to some weird server for meetings. And so now you don't have to.
Yep. And one thing that you came up with that I love is the monologue to prompt, because so often I'll be in Claude and I'll just regurgitate what's on my mind, but it's not structured well. And we all know how important prompting correctly is. And we both demonstrate with a llama running locally, but if that's not a priority for you, you can set this up to Grok, and the wait time is very low. Super fast response time, able to get your processed output, so then you're able to not have your workflow slow down too much, but still get much better output from the LLMs. So super excited to see what people build with this. I think it's a lot of potential in having a processing pipeline set up in an open way that anyone can use.
Yeah, go check out the repo. Give us a star on GitHub. That would do a lot for us. I really want to kind of showcase this, and it'd be really cool to have people actually using meeting transcribers directly in their terminal. Such a cool concept. Some of this was even inspired by, oh man, I don't remember the exact. Primeagen does that, like ordering coffee through the terminal. And it was somewhat inspiring because it's like, man, what else could you do through the terminal? Like, if you could order coffee through the terminal, could you also just like record a transcript? Could you like record meetings? We just did it. You can just do things, you know? And so we did. And I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, and actually, I feel like that's a pretty good segue because not everyone loves using the terminal. And now, we did make this. MIT license, open source free, anyone can use this. But If you're the type of person who prefers to use a GUI, doesn't want to deal with the setup and whatnot, we do have a GUI version that's wrapped in executable that makes downloading and setting up a breeze. We're going to have this available for $10. One-time fee, no monthly service, and it's the type of thing, if you want to support the channel, we didn't want to just ask for support. We wanted to make sure, exchange of value, we give you something that you would like to use. So if you want to use the terminal, it's free, have at it. If you want to support the channel, we have a GUI version that makes things a little bit nicer.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting too. Should I get a little demo of it?
Yeah, let's see it.
Might as well. Might as well. And it may change before it's released, but it works. And part of this will be a demo of what the UI is. It will be a little bit of a small deep dive into Toga, which is a really interesting Python project. And I'm really excited to showcase what it is. So this is the actual UI itself, and this is a native Mac application with native buttons and everything, which is actually pretty crazy. So there's a little bit of a side story. There's a Python project called Toga, which I just discovered, and it allows you with Python to create desktop applications that you can ship to Mac OS, Windows, Linux, and even iOS and Android, which is really crazy. So you can actually make simple Python applications that get bundled as executables that can be shipped to all of those platforms, which is pretty crazy. That said, I don't think this one will actually work on iOS and Android, so don't get your hopes up. But it will definitely work on Mac. And it looks like this. It's a clean little application. It's also a fairly small application in terms of like footprint. It's like something like 140 megabytes or something, which is fairly small. But yeah, so this is the little application itself. You can select your profile, like this one's a meeting to tweet, and you can hit start recording, and now it's actually going to be recording here and be recording your whole meeting. And then when you're done, you can just hit stop recording, and all the same kind of stuff happens here. I also have the activity log. This is the same stuff right out of the terminal, but just kind of shows you what's actually happening behind the scenes. Shows you that the recording stopped. We saved the results with the transcript and everything else, and that actually just worked. And kind of interesting. So this all works. It also like has native support for like menu bar items and things. So I have a start stop. Really interesting. I hope more people play with Toga because I want it to be more of a developed ecosystem. It's definitely pretty minimal in what it can do, but that's okay. Like having this be fully native is really interesting. Like I wanted to style it and make it look pretty or whatever else, and that's not really anything you can do with Toga, and I kind of admire that for some reason. It's like, it's just, nope, it's just native. You get what Mac ships, and this would look native on Windows as well. Anyway, and then there's like a little file explorer, so you can actually go and modify your own configuration file right in here. And you can actually go and see the meetings that you've had and see the transcripts that are in here. And yeah, it's kind of cool. You can actually modify the names of things, change settings, change your different microphone input, and it saves things. It's actually pretty interesting. So highly recommend checking out Toga, but also highly recommend buying this application. I think it will work really well for you, and I'm excited for you guys to try it.
Great work, Ty. Thanks for showing it off. Really hope that people check it out. And if you want to get the free version, it's up on GitHub. We'll link it down below. Everyone can use it. But after showing this little demo, you mentioned it in the intro. This week in AI has been nuts. So give me your perspective. What did you think changed with the world after this week?
Bro, I mean, what didn't change? What a crazy week. R1 is something that I really wanted to touch first. I mean, we could talk about a couple big things that happened this week, but I think the biggest, arguably, is DeepSeek R1. I mean, this company in China that, like a quant lab in China that made a side project making these reasoning models that outcompete O1, like insane. And the fact that you can download these models and run them locally and have something that's like almost as good as O1, it's not entirely true. I think the full model is 456 gigabytes of RAM to run, so like you can't run the full version, but still, like the distilled versions of these things are really good and beat a lot of benchmarks. And I think there's a couple big parts here of reasoning in general seems to do a lot. Like even just a couple tokens worth of reasoning takes you a lot further than it would have. And B, open source is catching up, and open source is forcing OpenAI's hand. Like O3 mini access for everyone on the free plan of OpenAI's ChatGPT, like I don't think that would have been a thing had it not been for R1's release this week. So super bullish on it, super excited for open source, and I don't know what next week's going to bring if this was so crazy.
Not only is open source catching up, but the amount of time between proprietary release and open source release is shrinking, where we're catching up at a faster rate, and I love to see it. And when you get tools or services like Aider, as an example, who have already set up architecture engineer frameworks where you can have one model do the architecting, another model do the engineering. You could have one of these long thinking reasoning models as your architect in a faster instant model for your engineer. So you don't have to always have the delay. You can have changes happen quickly while there's planning about it. We are accelerating faster than ever. And I know there's just a coding example, but you got to imagine when you can have a model running locally, even if you have, rent a GPU on the cloud, so you don't have to go through the actual inference, you can get it surprisingly cheap. And then you're able to get such a higher degree of intelligence that it's just going to start expanding to more and more areas. More and more aspects of the economy are going to be run with intelligence built in. Technology is going to move at a faster pace. And like you said, it's open source, so everyone can check it out. And I just hope that we continue this trend because it's exhilarating. It's keeping you on the edge of your seat, but I do think that the tooling we're able to build because of it is going to make things a lot better.
And what a flip it's been too, like I think historically we thought like, all right, well, you have to be a big company with billions of dollars of compute to train the absolute strongest, most powerful models. And then kind of just like, if you're not one of those big companies, you have to bow down and then just pay them via API costs to do this. But like, R1's changing that paradigm a little bit. The way that they've trained this thing is so much different and so unique, and there's a lot of inspiration to be taken from this. Like, you can just do things. I say that every week almost, but just like, you could just create models that compete with OpenAI and force them to like do things that they weren't expecting to. I don't know. I'm so excited about it. I'm so happy about it, and I'm curious to see what comes next. But man, Project Strawberry, huh? Who would have thought it had this big of a impact on things? I thought that was mostly hype. And even when the O1 first dropped, like O1 model first dropped, that was like, okay, that's cool, but like, is that really better than 3.5 Sonnet? Turns out I think I was wrong. I think reasoning actually is the real deal, and we're in for a pretty crazy 2025.
Yep. Like Ilya said, scaling's the answer, but it depends on what you scale. So it turns out test time compute makes a massive difference. But to quickly cover one other thing that I think impacts both of us, Operator. OpenAI came out with the computer control agent, browser control agent, and you were able to give it a spin. I'll have you talk about your experience, but just want to touch on our background where when we've attempted making an open source project, Open Interpreter OS mode, where the entire computer control was an option, there were so many issues, so many things to overcome. The desktop is designed for humans to interact with, so having AI try to consume all that information, deal with the different UI components, deal with ambiguous instructions or misleading text, random icons, so many problems. So seeing a big player like OpenAI step into the ring and say, we want agents to become mainstream, we want the ability for a computer to do tasks on your behalf to be something that's accessible to everyone, is very exciting. Before we get into too deep, do you want to give your experience on using Operator?
Yeah, well, I just want to double tap on what you said. I love your clarification from a computer controlling agent to browser controlling agent, because that's what it is. It's a browser controlling agent. Open Interpreter is a computer controlling agent. And anyway, not going to detract from anything OpenAI. I think an important aspect to talk about here with OpenAI is that they've been doing this for a long time, almost 10 years. Like 9 years ago, 2016, they dropped OpenAI Universe, which was like a data set and a way to actually train models to understand how to play games and how to interact with applications. And for 10 years, they've been building this. I bet there's someone in OpenAI that's been quietly shipping away at this for the last 10 years, seeing all these ChatGPT launches and all of these model updates and patiently waiting for their moment in the spotlight, and it's here. And so I'm really, really bullish on Operator. I think it's a really interesting platform, and I think it's a little bit, I think I have to applaud Sam to some extent for launching this when he did, because this to me is the like kind of the kick in the pants to society of like, no, AI can control computers and it is coming. And so this is just like a early research preview, or basically like, look what AI can do now, it's coming. So anyway, to my practical use of it, I used it yesterday and it's very slow. Um, Clicks around very slow. It makes mistakes. It was clicking the wrong buttons and like off by a couple pixels here and there. That said, I played with it twice. Once I had it find the best coffee shops around me to go work at these coffee shops, and watching it, it made a bunch of mistakes and it was having a hard time doing it. But in the end, it gave me the list I was looking for. So it got there eventually. I don't think this is the type of app that you want to sit there right next to it and have it control your computer to get to where you need to go. You could do it faster. But this is like kind of showcasing of where we're headed, of you have something you need to do, tell it to do it, and then just trust that that delegation is going to work and it's going to go off and it's going to do the thing that you need it to do to take that thing off of your plate. So overall, I'm really optimistic about it. Slightly sad that it's so slow and makes little silly mistakes, but I don't know. Overall, I'm pretty impressed.
Yep, this is the worst it'll ever be. Even by OpenAI's press release or their presentation video, they said 58% success. So, it's a coin flip right now. It's only going to get better. There are open source alternatives that are popping up, which I'm sure through a collaborative effort will start becoming much more powerful as well. It's like I said, it's begun. And I view the benefit of this is not to have a little agent that you're sitting around watching as he goes through his task, but to delegate offload. Give 10 agents 10 tasks as you focus on the 11th task, and then the results start coming in as you go about your day, and all of a sudden you're able to accomplish more, which I think is the name of the game here. We're looking to increase productivity and increase output through the use of intelligence. So I hope the skeptics continue to build and push things forward rather than using it as this is barking up the wrong tree. But yeah, worst it's ever going to be. Only going to get better from here, and it's ushering in a brand new age. And also on top of that, it also highlights how we have to start building web and digital experiences differently, where it's not just optimizing the experience for a human to interact with, but it'll be optimizing the experience for humans and agents to interact with. Do we go stronger on APIs? Do we have something like the LLM.txt, which will help guide an agent through the website? Do we add new metadata to buttons and whatnot that are more LLM friendly? There's a whole lot of new paradigms to explore, and we're just at the absolute starting point of that right now.
I think it's a brilliant point. And like right now, it's probably 1%, maybe 2% of internet traffic is agents going out and searching. That's actually generous. It's probably not 1%. It's probably like 0.1%. But like that number will continue to increase every single day from now into the next 10 years. And so if your business is not online, if you don't have a website that's easily accessible by an agent, especially if it's something that your average consumer can just go out and buy, like a flight or a hotel or order food, any of that type of thing, you've got to get online as soon as possible, because that number is going to keep growing. And a lot of the time, the sale that you make on your website might not be a human. It might be a human that delegated to an agent. And so I just think it's so important for people to get their businesses online. Use Cursor, Lovable, or any of these tools. Make some simple website, but get your business online now, because I think it's more important than ever to get there. The other thing I think I want to touch on too is you had this interesting idea of delegation, and it made me think of like O3 or some really smart model being the delegator. And right now it's like, okay, well, humans, we should delegate our tasks, but you can imagine in O3 understanding you and what you need, creating tasks, and then delegating all of those to these little computer use agents, and then going out and trying it. And they may only have a 56% success rate, but if they fail, just try again. Just keep pulling the little lever. I mean, it'll just keep going until it works. So anyway, I'm really rambling right now. I'm just really excited for this agentic future. 2025 is the year of agents, and it's a big release.
Big week. And it's only January.
I know, man. It's not even February yet. Crazy.
Well, buddy, this was great. Reminder to everyone, if you want any help getting your business more set to encounter the age of AI, reach out. Information down below. If you haven't yet already, please subscribe. We do this every week. We got some pretty big guests coming in February. I'm pretty excited for the next few shows, Ty.
I'm like blown away, man. Like some of these guests we have coming up, I'm like, what? They want to come on this show? I'm so excited. So I'm stoked. I'm super stoked for who we have. I think you guys will really like it. We'll keep doing these episodes every once in a while, though, where we just make some demos and kind of just have fun and talk about the world.
It was a lot of fun, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Sounds good. See you, buddy.